Hey y'all, it's your Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Zatima Season 4, Episode 5. The episode picks up and Zach is in the kitchen and he's making breakfast for Zatima. He's making pancakes, waffles, eggs, bacon, potatoes. I was like, oh, that's so sweet, because he did tell her that it was going to be all about her. So he goes upstairs and he brings her the breakfast and he keeps calling her. She finally wakes up like, what do you want? Why you keep calling me? He's like, I brought you breakfast. Fatima's like, for who? For somebody that's on my 600-pound life? Zach is like, you said you like options. Fatima's like, yeah, I said that, but not all at one time. Fatima's basically like, I don't want the breakfast. Zach is like, come on, I need you nourished for court today. Zach is like, come on, I'm gonna try to eat the breakfast with you. So he gets on the bed and he ends up knocking the plate over. Fatima made me laugh when she said, I'm glad we're going to the courthouse so we can get a divorce. And Zach is like, joke's on you, we're not even married. Fatima's like, we won't be married if you don't clean this up. Zach is like, and if I don't clean it up, what you gonna do, fight me? Fatima's like, yeah, and I'll beat you up too. Zach is like, dang, you hurt my feelings. I was like, Fatima's treating Zach so mean, and I hope she apologizes to him for the way that she's been acting. I understand that she's pregnant, but she don't have to sit there and cuss the man out. So it's time for the court case, and Zach and Fatima walk in. Fatima's like, this is going to be easy. They sit down, and they look over, and Patty and her lawyer are just sitting there staring at them, and Fatima's like, what are they staring for? Zach is like, I don't know why she's mugging. The court case starts, and Patty starts submitting evidence about the things that make Zach and Fatima unfit parents. And she submitted the video of Zach beating up his brother, which we all knew was going to happen. And then she submitted evidence about him being investigated by the SEC. She also submitted the lawsuit that Deja had against Fatima. She also submitted the police report about Big Repo and the shooting at the repast, and the judge took all that into evidence, and he's like, well, from the police report, it looks like both of them were victims, and it was a third party that did that. The judge is like, when it comes to the lawsuit with Miss Wilson, the lawsuit was dropped. Betty's lawyers are like, well, doesn't this show evidence that Michael could be hurt from the things that Zach and Fatima are involved in? Fatima steps up, and she's basically like, well, you can't really take a child away from their parent for the things that they did in their past, and the stuff that she's saying is inadmissible. The judge basically tells Fatima that she can't really say nothing based on her background of just being a paralegal, and she hasn't passed the bar yet, so she's not really able to talk and say things that are inadmissible, because they definitely are. The judge lets them know that he doesn't believe in keeping a child from their biological parents, and the fact that Zach's past doesn't define him, but it does create some concern. Zach is like, can I say so? Zach is like, so when I told y'all that Michael was living in the gutter and his mother was treating him any type of way, y'all didn't want to listen to me because I'm a black man. And y'all didn't want to hear a word I have to say. The judge is like, it's nothing about you being a black man. Zach is like, it is. He is like, given the opportunity, and if I have the chance to, I will be the best father that I can be. Then Patty is like, can I say something? Patty's like, I don't know what we went wrong with raising Heather. We didn't raise her to be like that. We thought when she had Michael it would slow her down, but apparently it didn't. And it's not about me trying to keep Michael away from his father, but we just want to show Michael that he's loved, because we're all you know. The judge tries to give his verdict of Patty getting full custody and Zach has visitation, but Zach has to do anger management for 6 months. Zach is like 6 months. The judge also says that Zach has to give Patty child support, and it's $1,000 a month, but looking at Zach's income, it's going to go to $3,500. Zach is like, wait a minute, that's crazy. And Patty's like, you don't even want full custody of him. You just don't want to pay. Zach is like, do y'all hear this? This is just money grab for them. She sounds just like her niece. Patty basically proved this point when she was like, so when they get married, can y'all add Fatima's income to Michael's child support too? Fatima put her lawyer hat back on, and she's like, well, since Zach is not the custodial parent, I really have no obligation to this. The judge is like, you're right, and when you give birth to your baby, we could amend that in court too. And Zach was about to say something, and then Fatima steps back up again, and she's like, well, this shouldn't even matter because Zach is not on the birth certificate. He's not deemed as the legal father. Fatima's like, and the paternity test that was given was not even credited by a court. The judge is like, well, I see the paternity test results right here, and it says that Zach is the father. Fatima's like, I know that, but that test was done by a home DNA test, and those don't really stand up in court. Fatima's like, I was a witness to that test, and the judge looks at Zach, and he's like, so do you question Michael's paternity? Zach wanted to say no, but so in 4 weeks they got to come back to the court and do a DNA test. They couldn't do it right then and there because the court is backlogged. In 4 weeks, I think we're all going to find out what we all been thinking, that Michael is not really Zach's son, and this is going to hurt Zach to his core, because he really bonded with that boy. He loves that boy so much. The court case ends and everybody's walking out, and of course Patty has something to say because the verdict didn't go in her favor. And so she's cussing Zach out. Zatima's like, you will not sit here and defame my fiance, because if you continue to do that, I will end up in civil court. Over at the law firm, we see Fatima working in her office, and she gets a knock on her door. It's apparently this new lawyer, and I think this new lawyer pushed Andy out of her position, and Andy no longer works at the law firm. So the lawyer comes in and she shuts the door, and Fatima gets nervous because she thinks that it's bad news, and the lawyer's like, it's not bad news, it's actually something really good. I'm going on medical leave for a few weeks. I see that you've been working around here and doing very good at your job, and there's this client that I really want you to work with. She's in entertainment, and Fatima's like, I wasn't really thinking about going into the entertainment. The lawyer is like, I know you want to work in criminal defense so that you can help others, but I think that this would be a very good fit for you, seeing that you be singing around here all day and that you really are passionate about what you do. Fatima's like, I'll be going on maternity leave in a few weeks. The lawyer's like, that's okay, because when you leave, I'll be coming back. The lawyer tells her that it's Sage, who happens to be one of the biggest R&B singers. Fatima, with no hesitation, says, I'll do it. The lawyer is like, so you don't want to think about it? Fatima's like, no, I got it. The lady is like, good, because Sage is here and she's ready for a meeting. Fatima's like, she's here now? The lawyer is like, yeah. So they go down there. The lawyer introduces Fatima to Sage. Sage and Fatima bond a little bit, and after looking at everything that Sage is going through with her father and him putting her in bad contracts and him having conservatorship over her, he basically pulled a Britney Spears, and Sage didn't know nothing about it, so Fatima's like, we're going to try to contest that in court. Sage is like, I don't even want him on my album, but I don't even know how to tell him. Fatima's like, well, we could work that out too. Fatima's like, this might be kind of hard seeing that Frank is your father, but he's also your manager. Sage is like, I don't care what you have to do, I just want my freedom. When it comes to certain celebrity parents, they only see their child as a celebrity. They don't even view them as their child anymore. They only see them as a cash cow and what they can get out of it. It's exactly what his name is like Frank and Sage's relationship turned out to be, and I think she really misses her father, and that's why she wanted to separate him from being her manager, just so that he could be her father again. But I hope she knows that their relationship will never be the same. Sage's whole thing is that she wants her freedom, but little does she know she won't be totally free, because she still has to deal with the things that her father did to her mentally, even though that she's free physically. And she will have to unlearn all that. Fatima and I were talking earlier. Fatima's like, our parents set us up with the dream life that they want us to have, and when we don't live up to it, they feel some type of way, which is very, very. Most times the parents that truly do that are the parents who didn't get to live their lives in the way that they want to live it, so they're trying to live vicariously through their child. Sage is like, I'm tired of him profiting off my name. And I'm like, this is a whole Britney Spears situation, and it really happens in Hollywood more than you think. So after they get done talking about all the legal stuff and everything that's going to happen in court, Sage is like, do you know a place where I can have my listening party? I want it to be exclusive. I just want people to hear my album before it actually comes out. Fatima's like, I might know a place. And oh, I forgot to mention before that, Sage says that she could see Fatima being in her friends. Let me find out Fatima might have some celebrity friends in the future. And once Sage finds out that Fatima can sing, she might want to put her on an album or do a record. The end of the meeting happens, and Sage is like, don't forget about that spot. And the lawyer comes in and she's like, what is she talking about? Fatima's like, well, she just wanted an exclusive place for her listening. Then we see Fatima call Zach, and she lets him know that she'll be working late and she's working with a celebrity client, and Zach is like, I'm happy for you. I just don't want you to overwork yourself. Zach jokes with her, and he's like, I guess I just gotta get used to being alone for long hours and long nights. And Zach and Fatima are talking. Preston and Bryce knock on Zach's door, and Preston asks Zach, does he want to go to happy hour with them? Bryce invites himself because he's like, I was just going to sit outside of Angela's house. Over in the hood, we see Tony's driving money off to that lady again, but this time she actually opens the door and Tony's in outside. And she's like, young man, who are you? And Tony just keeps walking. Tony, I totally understand how you feel. You want to help the lady out because you feel guilty for what you did to her grandson or her son, right? But at the same time, if you keep going in the route that you're going, you might end up saying something or doing something that could land you and Tyrone in jail after Tyrone tried his hardest and paid to make this go away. What if the lady goes around and starts asking questions around the hood, because you know the hood talks, and they tell her the truth that you're the one that unalived her grandson, and they won't even say that they will never tell her the part of him going into the barbershop, holding you at gunpoint, and you having to defend yourself. All she will hear is that you want to laugh your grandson. So my advice to you is for you to leave well enough alone, because if you know like I know, you might end up somewhere that you don't want to be. But let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn your bell notifications. Bye.